Hey everybody, long time no see. Finally got a weekend. I'm heading out to my cabin. They're starting to cut back here, and they're going to be cutting within a quarter mile of my cabin. So I've gone out to ribbon a line where they were nice enough to say I could, if I marked off where they didn't want me to go past, they wouldn't. I mean, it's not a lot that they're going to lose, but it's awful nice of them to have said that. I just want to show you here a big giant anthill that the bears have been tearing apart. For those of you who don't know, they come up to these ant hills and they just dig a hole in the top and they put their foot there and then just let all the ants crawl all over their legs, and then they just lick the ants off them for a snack. So yeah, I've seen half a dozen already on the way in here, but this is by far the biggest one. Usually it's just one mound, and you see one paw print on the top of it. This thing is 8 feet across by 6 feet that way. So anyways, only had to cut a couple logs so far, but I know there's going to be a bunch more from that major windstorm we had last week. And I haven't got into the thick bush yet, so what a difference this bush is from the fall time, eh? Just look like scattered like scrub bush, and it gets so thick in here in the summer with all these weeds and tag alders and leaves and blah blah. But anyways, looking forward to trapping season. Really looking forward to this auction coming up in 2 weeks to see how that goes. Hoping for the best, everybody. See you down the trail. Hey guys, so made her into the camp. Bridge is still intact. Did a bonus. I just did a circle around the cabin with the bike, and there's no bears, no windows gone, no door open. I mean, the bears have obviously been here. They got all kinds of, like the beaver boards, pails pulled out. It's foamy here, tore up. Maybe they were putting it on there to try and they could use it for cover, because you can see they got a bunch of nails flattened right down. So obviously they did step on it somewhat. And then anyways, but at least they didn't get into the cabin. Tore my sign there. Just being bears. And you can see there's one that's been living right here. Been sleeping there for quite a while. He's got a hole dug down there. Not dug down, but just hollowed out for him to sit in. I want that focus. There we go. He's just been curled up there, laying down. So unless they crawled under the cabin and shoot a hole through the floor, but haven't seen that in a long time. Seen them go through the roof one time to get into a cabin. Anybody home? No, nope. Nobody stole my generator or anything. That's awesome. Oh, cool. I will go down, get some water for a coffee. One of these days I will have to take the weekend and come out overnight and look at escape of the crickets. Or no, they're flies, not crickets. They were hiding in the door, I guess, with cracks when it's cool like last night. Oh, it's nice to be back here though. It's been way too long. I haven't been here since late March, I would say. Which would be the last time I was in the bush. Jesus Christ. That's April, May, June, July. It's 4 months. It's probably the longest I've in a span of time in my life when I haven't been out in the bush for at least a few days. Just getting old and having a job sucks. But anyways, a big raspberry patch filling in the area there. That would be cool if they start producing some nice raspberries. Yeah, I gotta come out here and build a proper step because this one here just isn't cutting it anymore. So, build a good step for the cabin and split some firewood. Not that I use a lot, but anyhow. Coffee and then and there was only about 12 logs trees across the trail that I had to cut, which was pretty awesome. I expected way more than that. So peaceful out here. Standing here, hard to believe I gotta go back to a job tomorrow. Oh well. A little butterfly. Can't remember what that one's called. Nice markings. Anyways. Water's not as high as I thought it would be after the big storms, but I guess it was pretty dry before that. I bet you a month ago there would have been zero water running through that creek. I've been here in the summertime a couple times where it was like every place where there's a little deep spot, it was, you know, a puddle of water, but there was zero water visible above the ground anywhere else. It was all running underground from, I guess, that puddle to the next one in a real dry time. Anyways, I'll go get some water, get coffee going. Talk to you later. Okay, I have assumed the position in my coffee spot. I'll just have a cup of coffee. I got a side trail to go down and drag a canoe out of there. Canoe's been there for 6 years. 5 years ago the beaver dam went out. I've just been waiting for him to build it back up and get an actual lake back there, and it never has, so now I guess I'll go drag the canoe out. Although now I'll probably go there and it'll be full of water again. Either way is good. Kingfisher flew by a second ago and landed up in a tree over there and he was yakking away. Haven't really seen much of anything, lots of bear sign Saw a couple deer, I guess. But I was on the road on the way up. Nothing since I've been in the bush. But I will have my lunch snack, my coffee, and we'll see what's going on. This bear gets too annoying here. I might have to come in this fall and take him out. Maybe put some bait on that hill right over there and then give him an awakening, so to speak. But if he just buggers off and makes his home somewhere else, I'll leave him alone. So, I know everybody's probably anxiously waiting for this first sale to see what happens. Word is they've got interest in beavers. Apparently the biggest coyote buyer is from Italy, and he's not doing anything. There's all the funds are tied up or something in Italy, whatever it is, but this whole COVID bullshit is just messing things up still. We've got border closure with the US still. It's I'm not even sure if it'll be open by time deer season rolls around, and if that's the case, that's just going to be wonderful. There's another substantial hit to my yearly income, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens. But Martin, you know, all you guys that are out there going, oh man, I can't wait till Martin get back to $160. Well, don't hold your breath on that one. That's a pretty rare thing. I've only seen it twice in 40 some years I've been trapping marten. So I've got myself, I know a lot of guys have big expenses to get out to their big lines for the marten, but I mean, for years, if you got a $40 average for marten, you know, people were ecstatic. But as soon as you get 1 year where you got a $160 average, then suddenly everybody expects that or wants it every year, but it's not realistic. You know, we got to work on is hope mink prices, otter gets back up, because I know everybody, you know, has their main animal that they go after, and I talk to a lot of the guys up north that, you know, they go out and they trap marten. That's all they trap. Or even guys down here that go out and, you know, trapping marten, whatever they're after, and you know, and they go, oh man, like a $40 average, I can't even pay for my gas, you know. But they haven't set a beaver trap in 10 years. I'm not talking to everybody, but a lot of them that I talk to, they know it's not worth your while. Well, you're already out in the bush, you're driving past beaver ponds, you know. I know mink are worth $12, $15. Set a friggin' mink trap. Set a beaver trap. You catch one beaver a day. You get a good sized beaver. You got $20 for the skin, and you know, maybe $20 for the caster if it's a big beaver, and more if it's a really big beaver. So, you know, oh, there's kingfisher just dove down and got a minnow. Got it in his beak as he flew by. Just a second, I'm going to see if I can get him on camera. Oh, I just swallowed it too. Where are you, little bird? I can't tell if I'm pointing at him because I don't have my glasses on, so well, there you are. Focus. Where did I get to now? But anyways, as I was saying, so you go out and you pass up catching beavers, mink, muskrats, otter, whatever. Those critters there pay for your gas, and then the other stuff, the marten and the lynx, that's your money animals. Wolves, you don't catch a lot of them, for like the wolves at least, and lynx, but those are your bonus. And it's only one beaver a day, and I know most people don't want to skin a beaver for, a few years ago, $12 average. Well, yeah, I understand that. That's a pretty low hourly rate, but you've got the bait, you've got the caster, you've got the fur, and it all adds up. And what else are you going to do? Sit in front of the TV on the couch and veg? I don't know. I don't like, well, I do that, enough of that myself, but everybody's got to relax, and I don't mind watching a little bit of TV at night, but still, get out there and catch some beavers, throw a mink set in. I learned a long time ago when I was young, canoeing the waterways and setting traps, if I stopped to set a beaver trap, then I guarantee you there was a mink trap behind the beaver house, there was a muskrat trap on the closest log to it, because stopping and getting under the canoes all the time is what takes up most of your time. So if you're going to stop, might as well have a half a dozen sets right in that vicinity to check, instead of checking a beaver trap over there and then paddling 100 yards and stopping for a mink set. You put it all in one spot, the mink are coming by, you go into the bush right behind the beaver house, throw up a marten box, whatever. So don't be afraid to get out there and set some beaver traps, guys. Just when I went up to the Thompson fur tables a couple years ago, it was funny because I think they had like 4,000 marten come through the sale, and there was 3 beavers that were brought through. I thought that was so funny. But because not that there was a shortage of beavers, because I've seen lots on the road on the way up there and stuff. But anyways, and that's everywhere. I think last year when I trapped all the beavers in the farmland, I caught 354 beavers, and there was less than 4,000 beavers sold in the entire province of Manitoba that year, because the average was down $12. I had caught almost 10% of, I think it turned out to be 8% of all the beavers that were sold in Manitoba. There was 1 million of them caught for the bounty, don't get me wrong, there was lots of caught. But caught, skinned, and sold were under 4,000, or just over, I can't remember. But that's a pretty low number for an area that has this many beavers. So, anyways, I know, and nobody wants to kill a mink for, $15, but you just, you remember, you're taking the excess, you're not taking all the animals. half of them are going to die of starvation over the winter anyways, or get picked off by owls and whatnot. Might as well take them and utilize them. Throw the carcasses back out in the bush for the birds. Then you're not taking them out of their food chain, they're still getting to eat them. Anyhow, that's my speech for the day, I guess. And I'm going to drink my coffee and watch the water roll by. Talk to you later, guys. Keep your boots dry. I'm not going to keep these ones dry, look. Hey guys, not sure if you recognize this spot, but this is where last fall I finally got this trail hooked up for this circle. This is the same creek that flows by in front of my camp. It's just about, I'm about 8-9 miles downstream from the cabin, so. But my Skidoo trail goes up there, through there, and then you go about 3.5 miles to the main trail, and then a couple miles down the route, and you're at our deer hunting spot, or where our day camp is. This is that spot where I'm going to have to bring some wood in and build a little. I've got a straight up and down bank here, about 2 feet. It's not, you know, I could probably chop it down with a shovel and get up and down with the quad, but it'll just wash away again. So I'll just put a little ramp in here and then drag it up on shore after the fall. But so I went 10 miles in to the cabin, came halfway back out, and then came about 8 miles this way, and I have not seen one moose track crossing the road. And yet when they do their surveys, they've flown and said that the moose population is on the rise. Well, good luck trying to convince me of that. But anyways, it's as far as I planned on going today. I had a few trees to cut out in this last section of bush, but it's been pretty good considering the storm that we had. So I can see on the roadway it dropped a lot of rain, because there's just little rivulet washouts all over the place from a heavy downpour. Man, I really wish there was speckled trout in this creek. It'd be a beautiful creek for it, except for, like I said, on some occasions it does dry up in the summertime when there's real low water, so that would probably be all one really dry summer, all it would take to kill them all. It is a lovely little trout stream. There should be enough beaver ponds on it where they could survive over the course of the winter on it, or a dry summer. Anyways, alrighty guys, I'm heading home, and lots of wolf tracks on the road back there. I just got to turn around here and head back up my trail through the bush there. Right down there, about as far as you can see, would be the edge of my trap line, the southernmost point of my trap line. And then it kind of goes like this, and then cuts back up that way for 5-6 miles with the river just on the inside of it, and then exits. So, anywho, next time I come in, I'll build this little ramp, because then I got to go across and then hook up to the other. I got to cross the river again and get into that other area. Figure out a better way than cutting through that swamp. There's a ridge that runs along there, and I should be able to follow that ridge, and then right where the ridge crosses the river, it should be a good crossing there. It's just a snowmobile trail though, not a quad trail. Alright. See you next time, guys.